Hey, hey. Hi, guys. Welcome back. All right, Virgos, let's go ahead and jump on in. By the way, Virgos, I have wanted to use this backdrop for a long time. Australia is one of the places I have always wanted to visit. It was the first place I was ever going to go. And then by a weird twist of fate, I wasn't able to. And then by another weird twist of fate, I never made it there. But it's always been, particularly, I wanted to go see Uluru. And so finally, I wanted to just kind of pay a little homage to that as a place that just calls to me, that feels very near and dear to me. And it's nice. I feel more connected than ever because I know there's a lot of you watchers from Australia. So thank you everyone for being here. You guys know I love everything on my channel to be as international. I'm very global. And so it just feels like really, I don't know, just a nice, also I like the colors today, but it feels nice to feel connected. So specifically the storyline, we want to start out with possibly places or locations or something that might be important to a character. We have Mystic Haven, enchantment, esoteric, magic, intrigue, hidden wisdom, and we have scorching lands, blazing sun, arid deserts, searching heat, parched earth. Well, we could definitely say that both of those cards could be applied to the magical, mystical, deeply spiritual Uluru, but I don't want to keep it as narrow as that. We're allowing the story, this is for inspiration, but then the story itself takes over. So we may have a character that it doesn't have to be in Australia. That may not be a particularly important place to a character. There is some place where they feel like it is a mystical haven. Now, this is, a beautiful little street with, little cafes and such. It could be something like that. It could be a place where somebody has like very powerful memories. This could be a place a character has never been before, but feels the need to go. It could be that we have a character who's remembering a certain location. Let me ask, what is it about a location like this that pops up for a character? Six of Cups, Prince of Discs, Eight of Wands in the reverse. I feel with the nostalgia, there is a memory that Virgo has connected to a particular location, and it's where they not only had an opportunity to spend time with a soulmate, and maybe they at one point had like many hours together with a soulmate. It was wonderful. It's absolutely beautiful. But somehow it's like, but I can't get back there again. So I don't know if Virgo, let's say for example, Virgo met somebody on a vacation. And it's like, oh my God, it was the most amazing thing. It rained that day, but it didn't even matter. There was this incredible energy of like, we had all this time together and we talked. This could be the first time Virgo met somebody. This could be, I don't know, there's some kind of a memory that's very enchanting that is connected in this storyline. And Virgo clearly has a solid memory of this person, this soulmate, and the hours that they spent together. It feels like it was really nice, but Virgo's like, but there's no way to go back to that. There's no way I'll ever be back there. So this is, Virgo's not in this place anymore, but in their memory banks, it stays as a very magical place. Let me ask this. Actually, let's change decks for them. Soulmate. Do you have the same sacred memory? Do you hold Virgo in a place in your memory as well? Six of Cups. Holy smokes. Yes, exactly. Now, the thing that's interesting is both of them also look at this with rain, and they both look at it with cracked pottery. I'm thinking that this is something, their memories, I almost feel like it's more like tears. I feel as if Virgo and another person, a soulmate to Virgo, and like, I'll never forget that time. I'll never forget that space that I was in with you. I'll never forget you. Tell me more about the soulmate. Holy smokes. So they remember Virgo just as well. Nine of Swords sideways. They remember it. Virgo had that Eight of Wands in the reverse, like, but I'll never be able to go back to that moment in time again. And they're over here saying, I remember it. And then I'm like partially filled with like stress and angst and sorrow. And I want so much. You see the birds are migratory. I want so much to go back to that moment. And I don't know how to ever get back there again. So Virgo and another person there is a place, there is a day, there is a moment. Okay, so there could have been big passion here. That scorching lands could represent the intensity. I wonder if Virgo and this person took long strolls, long walks down a particular street, if they held on to each other in their memory banks and it was like intense passion. Maybe they had a night together. Maybe they had a day together. There's something here where it's like, I'm hearing Richard Marx, all those endless summer nights. It could be something along those lines. Let me get another one for them, how they remember Virgo. The World card, there could have been travel involved, and we have the Justice. They could be either a Libra or a Capricorn. We have this fertility symbol, so I'm definitely going to say that there was like intense desire and passion. Somebody, I can't show it here because I have to keep her covered up because she's a fertility statue, so she's got no clothes on. But we have, here, if I put my hand there, we can see the blue butterfly flying on this orbit. I don't know if that means somebody was flying. I feel as if they're saying my whole life changed the day that I met Virgo. Everything just changed from me, and it was so freaking unfair. So they knew Virgo was like the person for them. They knew in that moment, Virgo is this, my whole life just like, it's like the clock set at a new setting point. The problem is, how the heck am I supposed to be able to stay with Virgo or be with Virgo? Is this a situation where these two met on a trip? Or is this a situation where these two, God, boy of swords, excuse me, Knight of Swords, look, they did something very impulsive and they just decided, I'm going to be with Virgo for what it's worth. I'm going to be with Virgo. This, we again have like a decidedly Australian tip of the hat here with the artwork. It makes me want to go ahead and pick up one of my, what is it, Aboriginal power, ancestral power oracle decks. Let me just see. Vulnerable. They were very vulnerable. They decided to go ahead and connect to Virgo, to let Virgo in. This person opened up their heart impulsively. They were feeling the vibe. They were feeling the frequency with Virgo. We have that that bluebird. It's like they heard loud and clear from their guides, like, just for what it's worth, open up to Virgo and be with Virgo. Like, open your heart to Virgo. Maybe it doesn't make sense on paper, but jump into this with both feet, and they did. This is somebody who allowed themselves to be very head over heels for Virgo, and I think they were vulnerable with Virgo in a certain way that was unusual for them. Okay, so hang on. What actually happened here? Because, I mean, this memory still exists for both of them, and I feel like it's a very shared memory for both of them, and it's a very important moment in both of their lives that they met each other once upon a time. So what happened? 6 of Pentacles, 8 of Cups. They shared time and space together, and then one or the other left. One or the other said that they had to leave. What does that mean? This could have been somewhere around Leo season when this occurred. We have the Emperor. Huh. Was one of them married? Virgo or them? Is that why we had that Libra card where it said, it's so unfair, that Justice card? It's so unfair. I met this Virgo and Virgo is my person. Oh, I'm going to say yes, then they had to leave because, you know, it's like, I either have to tell the truth, which is that I'm married, or I have to leave and then reveal the truth of why I have to go. Yikes. Hang on. You took some leap to be vulnerable with Virgo. Did you tell Virgo that you were married? Empress sideways. Not exactly. They told a half-truth to Virgo. They told Virgo something. They alluded to it, or they told Virgo a half-truth. 4 of Wands. They told Virgo a half-truth. They may have also told Virgo that they wanted to be married to Virgo. They may have said that they were kind of divorced. I mean, I'm sorry, I know what is kind of. But they said something about, they didn't exactly lie, but they definitely weren't exactly truthful. What did your guides actually tell you? Character, it says that you listened to that bluebird, and the bluebird was like, telling them you're vibing. There's this high vibrational, Virgo's this incredibly high vibrational person, and you knew it in an instant, and you decided to be vulnerable, but not exactly vulnerable enough to tell the full truth to Virgo, until the version of it. But the guides had said, with the World card sideways and the Page of Swords, sorry, I have to cover the Page of Swords up because she has no clothes on. Actually, in both of these cases, we have somebody with very little clothes on, but here I gave her a bikini. This card, I didn't do that on because she's covered in a dragon tattoo that covers her whole body, and I didn't want to cover up the tattoo. but it means I have to still cover the card. For this, the world and the Page of Swords, that what that bluebird actually said is, yes, you know that this Virgo is really important to you. Now ask yourself, what does that mean? You are being faced with somebody and you need to learn what the lesson is. You're saying you want your whole life to feel different. Then what do you need to do to actually have a different life? I don't think that the guides were like, oh, just go for it. Jump on into Virgo's arms. Definitely, spend the night with Virgo, undress with Virgo. Like, I don't think that's what the guides were saying. The guides were saying, whoa, you need to realize how important this Virgo is to you, how important this connection feels to you. Now, what does that mean? What do you need to change in your life? But I think what they did instead, let me just ask, what did you do? Because it says that you took this leap. We have a King of Swords sideways. I feel like they went ahead and they said, I'm going to let myself have something, even though it's not really fair. I think this is because they weren't being fair and balanced the way a King of Swords would be. They've got a dragon tattoo on them as well. But I think that they said, this is my dream and I want Virgo and Virgo wants me. And I'm going to allude to the fact that maybe I'm kind of like not single, but kind of I could pretend like right now that I am, because I know that Virgo is this person I'm supposed to be with. I mean, I don't know that this was so simple as like, so then poof, they just cheated. I'm wondering if this was more along the lines of, I don't know, like they talked themselves into saying that there was gray territory here. So sorry, this is the story that we've got. I can't help it. This is the story that we've got on this. At this point, what's the universe got to say? Actually, let's change decks again. Let's go this deck. What has the universe got to say to Virgo with this memory that they hold? And kind of like Eight of Swords. The universe is saying, Virgo, you are stuck in a memory. Ace of Cups, you're stuck because you really loved this person. Okay. And so then universe, what's the best message for Virgo in all this? Knight of Pentacles, slowly but surely. This is maybe like put blinders on and keep moving forward. Two of Swords. Yeah, I think it's time for Virgo to actually block, not the fact that they love this person, but block out this feeling of being stuck. Like that's the only person I can love. This says for Virgo to realize that there are other people that will be absolutely spectacular, and everything Virgo would ever want, that could be basically like Virgo can fall in love like this again. See the twin tigers, and it's like block them out and look for somebody, allow somebody into your life that's got everything that they had, only, maybe somebody that can actually be in your world. Strength card. It puts a lot of the emphasis on Virgo, but it says Virgo, this person has become a monkey on your back. This memory is a monkey on Virgo's back. In this storyline, it says that they aren't the ones that, like Virgo didn't have something that they needed to change. It was this other person who needed to make the changes. So basically, this is only the message for Virgo from the universe, which is don't be stuck on somebody. Instead, yes, we know you loved them, Virgo, but put your blinders on when it comes to them. And instead know that there's another amazing person out there that could have everything that they had and then some. They could be looking right at you, Virgo, and you could be ignoring them unless you can put up blinders and stop thinking about that one person and allow yourself to see somebody else. Okay, and the universe, what's the message for them, for the King of Swords here? We got a Six of Wands. We got the Page of Wands. The Six of Wands is in a sideways position. The Page of Wands is upright. If they keep saying, I live in the memory where it was so wonderful to have had Virgo in my life, but then it doesn't feel wonderful anymore because I want to take this step again toward Virgo. I mean, the universe is like pointing it back out. Like you're never actually going to feel successful, period, because you're always still pining for the Virgo. With the Seven of Cups, you're always still in this place of like manufactured confusion, because we have an Ace of Wands. Virgo's still where you want to be. You know where you want to be. Virgo was your success. Virgo was the place that you most wanted to be. It's the place that you still, like you go into that memory and you're so stressed out, but you still want that Virgo. You're so stressed out, but that was your soulmate. That was the person that you were like, it's so unfair that I just met this amazing person. And the universe is like, well, that's always going to be the case. You met the one that you wanted to be with, and you don't know what to do about it. So this person has never gotten over Virgo. I mean, plain and simple. They've never surrendered this. Three of Pentacles sideways. The problem with this says that they still are saying, yeah, but how can I be with Virgo if I have some other relationship? Basically, they haven't yet figured out that, I guess the simplest thing is you can't be in another relationship when what you want is Virgo. So you're either going to condemn your own self to being forever miserable, missing Virgo and the person you were really drawn to, because you're always trying to figure out, how could I still have Virgo in my life? That seems to be where they are. I think that they're missing the lesson, but I don't think that Virgo is. I think that's why this message said, Virgo, don't stay stuck on somebody. Move on. Because yes, they want Virgo, but they want to figure out how they can stay exactly where they are, but have Virgo too. That's, I think, why the message here is for Virgo to move on. I'm sorry, I'll put a trigger warning on this. I know that was a tough message, but I kind of like appreciate that, because it seems like sometimes it's better to have slightly more blunt messages, you know? And in this storyline, I think that the blunt message needed to be there, because although this was a really special, you know, moment and everything, I don't really understand why these two met at all. If other than soulmates, you know, find each other, meet each other. Let me just ask, why did these two meet at all? Was it simply because it was a path that could have been taken? Yeah, we have the Four of Swords sideways. Actually, the universe is like, look, not all the time is this something to continue to ponder over. Not everything is like, oh my God, there must be huge, extra lessons. It's like, no, sometimes we meet somebody, it's a timeline that we could have taken. Maybe it doesn't work out. This says, don't let it become the thing that you have to get over for the rest of your life. This isn't, I'm so sorry to say it this way, but life has so much more in store for Virgo. This is not the biggest thing that will ever happen to Virgo. And I think, I know I said that bluntly and even rudely, but almost like diminishing the importance of this, but in this storyline, that's exactly what it is. This isn't the most important relationship of Virgo's life. It may have felt like it for a long time. And that's what the big message is don't let this become the most important relationship in your life, because there's better ahead. There's somebody else up ahead for Virgo that is so amazing and has all the attributes, but also more to offer Virgo. So the sooner Virgo gets unstuck from this, the better. That's what I got off of this one. As I said, I'll put a trigger warning on it. Thank you guys for being here. Thanks for giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. Lots of love. Bye for right now.